Excelsior fanboys and girls, part 3 of our look at the Marvel Cards Series 2, which I brought back from the depths of Florida. Part 3 of Superheroes.
Yes, we've already talked about the first, I guess, what, 30 or so? We looked at Spidey, Daredevil, Thing. We just finished looking at U.S. Agent.
Thank God. Thank God someone brought up U.S. Agent.
And now we're about to head into part 3 of the heroes. And as we did with Series 1, there's just so many heroes and villains in these sets that they have to be chopped up into multiple videos. There's no other way around it.
Well, if we could stop talking so much, but I can't. I have a million opinions about every superhero.
This is a fascinating look at not only the Marvel Universe, when it in a pre-cinematic universe where everything was cohesive and everybody could be around one another, but also who was incredibly popular at the time.
Yeah,
I like saying there is one member of the Guardian of the Galaxy in this set, and it'll be in the villain set, and it's not who you think it is.
Oh yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah, this is a time period where the cosmic stuff was heating up with Infinity Gauntlet, but this is still pre-peak 90s. Like when you think of 90s Marvel, like this is right as it's happening, right when all the Thanos cosmic stuff's about to hit, and the fallout from that lasts several years.
All right, well, let's get into our final look at the superheroes of the 1991 Marvel Impel Series 2 trading cards.
36.
Banshee.
Screaming at the old man yells at Cloud.
I hate this card. It's a sucky card.
Why? Looking all Buck Bumble.
Ban to the Banshee.
Which is weird. Ron Lim has some clunker cards in here, even though Ron Lim's one of my favorite artists of this era.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
But he's stuck in the costume that were the pre-gold and blue era costumes when all the X-Men kind of dress the same, which I actually like when they have a themed costume.
It's fun. But yeah, we're not to the Cyclops with the sash and the blue and the gold and all that. Like we're days away from that happening.
But this was a Jim Lee design, which also explains all like the extra buckles on his thigh buckles. Like I gotta have these buckles on my thighs, keep them from sticking to.
But he's got that 5 speed, which equates to speed of sound again.
That's pretty good.
Mach 1 or 770 miles an hour, which is fine. Yeah. But that makes him faster than Quicksilver, whose defining trait is being very fast.
That's true. Banshee, of course, first appeared in Giant-Sized X-Men. Oh, no, wait. He predated that. He was...
They hang out with him. They end up going there to go to Ireland.
Why? Because he was always related to Moira McTaggart.
Moira McTaggart. It's terrible.
But he was...
But he screams really loud.
Yeah.
He was in it first class as well. Yep.
He's like, well, what is my power? I must tie it to my ethnic background. That by not being American, it must be tied to my ethnic background.
But yeah, outside of that, like he's always not a big player in fights. I feel like he was like kind of a behind-the-scenes dude to some degree. Like he definitely fought a lot, but
what a stereotypical nickname to Sean Cassidy.
Sean Cassidy,
again, brother of Black Tom Cassidy.
Yep. 37. Megan. Boo. And this is like
another loser on Excalibur.
This is the only character I think in the Heroes set where I'm like, what?
I really barely remember
don't
her.
know. And I know she's Megan or Excalibur something, but I'm always like, and she's in like 3 or 4 sets, and it's like, this totally went past me. And like, what a metric for a failed character where it's like, dude, I don't recognize this character repeatedly after reading 3 cards about her.
Is this Marvel trying to launch like a Barbie line of toys? Like what, Megan?
She was just a sex symbol of Excalibur. That's what she was. And I think she's one of those characters that they wanted to create her as like a pixie, and then they're like, no, she's a mutant. Like they just thought she was a pixie.
Animal like first came to regard herself as a freak. Discovered she was a mutant possessing superhuman power of metamorphosis to be able to change her shape and appearance. Since then, she's taken on the form of her, perfect, statuesque body. Except when using her powers to fight evil alongside her friends.
It would imply she can't leave the British Isles or she'll
I'm
have
going to look
no
up
power.
her current status. I bet she's dead. I bet she is dead.
Yeah, there's a couple of these British characters that are dependent on the British Isles to sustain their powers, and I guess she's one of them.
So it's like, well, I can't leave.
Obviously, I looked at these cards a ton as a kid, and I think this one, just because of where she's sitting, it always like, well, this is Namorita. This is the water creature.
Yeah, which is strange that she's not Namorita.
She looks like somebody out of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Currently, she's known as Gloriana.
Gloriana.
Yes.
Which is an... Never
mind.
Moving on. 38. Jubilee. Hey, there we go. Jubilation Lee.
Man, looking a lot like Robin.
I love Jubilee. She was created to be the next Shadowcat. Once they aged up Kitty Pryde, they needed a new tween girl, 14-year-old on their team to learn craft.
5 foot 96 pounds.
What year did the X-Men cartoon?
92.
92. So I wonder if they created her to be on
I
the
think
show.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Wow. Sorry, those power levels just took me.
Yeah,
took me
again,
back.
no energy projection. Oof. So she's like normal human teenager with some training, like a fair degree of training, but.
So Megan, but sorry to go back to real quick to Megan, that she was coupled with Brian Braddock, and that most recently they fought and beat Dracula together. So that's their status. But I don't want to undercut.
A public domain comic.
Well,
but
speaking
dude,
of vampires,
Jubilee's glasses also are just like
I love
those
it.
are rad.
Yeah, I mean, I've known a number of Asian American women in our age group who like loved Jubilee because she was one of the first people on the X-Men. They're like, oh yeah, that's me. I can identify with it. It's like it's an identifiable character.
And she was great in the cartoon. She was the audience surrogate of like she finds out she's got powers. The people are like, get out of my house. You're not our daughter anymore. And then she goes to the mall, and then the Sentinels come in. You could just go through that whole episode by line practically.
Well, and
but that's how I found Jubilee.
Her and Wolverine are a great pair too.
Yeah.
I like her as the person to teach him things, or they teach each other things. It's a father-daughter relationship. And then I like Jubilee. Sometimes people give Jubilee a bad rap, but I like Jubilee a lot. And most recently, she became first a mother and then a vampire.
But
and
not an adopted mother.
Fine, okay, Chris. Only mothers are people who.
No, I didn't follow up on that story. I didn't know where they never, because that was the big mystery, is where the baby came from.
Oh yeah, from just X-Men.
Yeah,
right?
simply X-Men.
That was good stuff.
That was one of my favorite panels of Psylocke holding a baby, saying being a mom is easy because you just kick somebody's ass while holding a baby that crapped in her hand.
Well, so. After that storyline, Jubilee became that child's primary caregiver, and she moved into the building where She-Hulk and Patsy Walker and Howard the Duck work, and she became.
Man, I was with you till the end, and it's like what?
So she became a supporting character in Hellcat. Though now Hellcat's over, so I don't know where she's at. But in that Jubilee's likewise, my Jubilee powers, but. I also can turn into a pink cloud of vampire dust, but she's a daywalker too. In the Hellcat comic, which I tell everybody to read, the Hellcat comic is really good. Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat,
it's good.
Jubilee is a great late addition to the series because they had to get rid of She-Hulk because of stupid Civil War II. Boo!
Why is there no Howard the Duck card?
He was in Legal Nowhere at this point. Steve Gerber's sort of. I have a very long story about this.
We should move on.
But Howard wasn't just a legal nebulous zone at this point.
Yeah, Jubilee's great.
And
I'm glad that she was able to continue being relevant, not just like a character that got kind of pegged as the 90s character. Got to live on.
She got to transcend it. But
so,
speaking of 90s characters.
Well, this guy transcended the 70s.
Yeah, so this is also my peak Ghost Rider interest as well, right? So I was reading Ghost Rider every week, every month, getting a new issue. Danny Ketch.
The second Ghost Rider.
I hate this card. I hate that art.
I love it.
That tiny head.
The tiny head kills me, man. Like his head is too small.
I feel like maybe
everything else is great. Everything else is fine.
Someone Photoshop in a guitar and just lay Mr. Bones underneath.
I mean, maybe it is a little too small, but think about it. If skin was off of a skull, it'd be smaller than a head.
Don't start trying to rationalize the flaming skeleton in leather. His head is too small.
This is the second Ghost Rider.
So the original was Johnny Blaze, who was in.
We'll be seeing him.
We'll be seeing him later.
Who is Howard? Is that a signature on the tombstone?
I don't know.
No, I think that's
reference to, but it's just
it's very specific. There have been no other words in any of these cards.
Could just be one of Art Adams' friends.
Yeah. But yeah, Danny Ketch is a kid, teenager who finds this mystical motorcycle, touches the gas cap, becomes the new Ghost Rider, and this is the design that everyone knows. Like it's what it looks like in most video games and even in the movies. It's this spiky leather thing, not the more 70s Daredevil look that the classic Ghost Rider had.
I like him being spikier and with a chain on him. They're like, I'm going to whip you with this chain,
it's mystical chain. You can drive the motorcycle up the side of buildings. And this gives him the penance stare, which is he can grab people and make them feel the pain they've inflicted on others. And the big signature thing for him is he's kind of strong, but it's also just that he's super durable. He's not smart. Danny Ketch is just a regular kid. And the spirit of vengeance as an entity is like singularly focused. Like it doesn't care about anything else. It's just like something's gone wrong, innocent blood has been spilled, and then he goes in full like I have to avenge this this murder or
There
whatever.
have been 8 million Ghost Riders at this point. Robbie Reyes is the current one.
Who's pretty good.
Though he's Muscle Car Ghost Rider, which
Yeah.
I think I like that it makes him different from
Yeah,
biker
absolutely.
riding.
Yeah.
If they just made up a new Ghost Rider, he's like, and this guy also rides a motorcycle.
I bet it's because Disney wouldn't let Ghost Rider ride a bike without a helmet.
Oh, I honestly think that has to be a dimension of it too.
Yeah.
But the Danny Ketch was the Ghost Rider. They were really invested in it by the late 90s. They're like, no, Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider again. Like he's the A Ghost Rider, but not at this point.
But this is we're a year or two away, maybe a year or so away from all the Rise of the Midnight Sun stuff
Spirit of Vengeance
that takes the Ghost Rider, the world they had been building, and makes it a little too complicated and 90s it up. And it's what chased me out of Ghost Rider.
Well, it's also what made Ghost Rider more popular. Almost all 90s popularity of a Marvel hero is because a popular artist got on their book. Nobody gave a crap about Ghost Rider, but everybody cared about the Kubert brothers. So them working on a Ghost Rider book,
Dude, all the text
book.
art,
and Mark Texiera.
Oh, that art is so good. I love it.
Well, because once the Kubert Bros went on to X-Men, then Mark Texiera took over, and he was great also, or is still great. He's still with us.
But yeah, Ghost Rider, fun character, but I was a little bummed at his tiny head, man. It really bothered me.
But look at those thighs.
Those thighs are booming, baby.
Yeah.
All right, 40 Beast.
I love that card because he's like, "Hey, Cyclops."
Yeah, Cyclops' tiny cameo in the bottom.
Eric Larson
the first
loves,
we've seen him.
Yeah, that's true. Eric Larson loves drawing the bouncing, beautiful beasts.
But yeah, his stats
Almost
are great.
looks like two people.
He's
in
got
that shot.
Spider-Man agility, but with
Wow.
like the strength of like, I don't know, some other strong character. But like also the strength of Puck. But like strength of Spider-Man, agility of Spider-Man, but like also stamina, durability, intelligence are all
thicker than Spider-Man.
Power of alliteration. With the brain of a brilliant biochemist, he's also the bizarre body of a bouncing brutish bee.
Good
Bouncing
Lord.
brutish. I said beautiful. I meant brutish. He's beautiful to me. I love that hairy guy. But then I think it's cheating though that in his profile picture they use him pre-blue because part of his tragedy is that he always is a blue beast dude. Like,
Don't they mess with that a lot?
no way. Well, they in the 90s they created a thing that I was like so glad they got rid of. It's like, oh, I invented this thing that makes me look like a normal human when I want to. It's like, well, then you have no tragedy to you. That sucks. You have to be tragic. That's your whole thing.
Well, it's like Thing. Like if Thing can change back and forth, it's like, well, that's not fun.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting. This is just reading some newer X-Men and almost literally new X-Men. Dude, blue Wolverine. That's what Beast is right here. Like in this era, hairy shoulders, bat hair.
I mean, his bat hair. Yeah, that was from the start of his redesign when he became first gray and then blue.
Yeah, wasn't it because like they did like using all that black ink would ruin the page, so they eventually had to like just he's blue, not
Well,
black.
they wanted to make him more special too, because before it was just like you're kind of a big guy with gorilla feet, and, and that it was hard.
That's right.
It was hard to take it of just like you're so ugly, my gorilla feet are so big. It's like you don't see that ugly.
Yeah.
Like I guess you're not as pretty as Warren Worthington III.
Man, did you know the Beast can write with both hands simultaneously and untie complex knots with his feet?
Oh, good lord.
Oh, good lord.
At this time, he was just about ready to start fixing mutant AIDS, the legacy virus.
Oh, yeah.
That would be his greatest challenge. But this is when he was more of his goofball character that especially the guy, he was the jokester on the team.
It's a very happy Beast.
And obviously I loved him because we share the same name.
Hey,
he's a dork with the same name.
Yeah. Moving on, 41, Invisible Woman.
Wow, buried in the 40s.
Finally a woman, man.
Wow.
No, I hate, this is her mom jeans era. Like, it's a lame haircut. She couldn't, it was totally them saying, well, she can't be a sex symbol. She's a mom.
She's her let me speak to your manager phase. I would say, holy.
My child.
Do you know how loud that is? Which is weird because by the fourth set of this series, she gets her other makeover, which is so far the other direction,
Well,
which
actually,
is more skin than costume.
Yeah, more skin than costume of just like, you know what everybody really wanted on Invisible Woman? To see her boobs through that 4. They need that 4 to be a boob window.
Yeah. But this is like in an era where no one really knew what to do with her.
Yeah.
And it's the late 90s, definitely early 2000s, mid 2000s when I remember writers like really playing up No, she's kind of the strongest one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like these powers that have been again so loosely defined. Like anyone from the '60s, yeah, you can just make invisible things. Then she's the strongest thing there is.
Yeah.
You can't.
She makes invisible bubbles that can't be broken. Huh? Oh, and she can kind of fly with that, eh?
You can fly with that, or put them inside someone's head and make it pop like a grape.
Yeah, and you can't see them to react to them. So it's like, what a crazy power.
Like when her body got taken over by Doctor Doom, he uses her powers to impale the thing like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, she was created to be a woman who gets invisible and trips over things. They're just like, this dog's barking at me when I'm invisible. Oh no!
But again,
all female superpowers to be invisible.
Yeah.
to go away. Well, and also
Don't
her
look at me.
her Did You Know is non-canonical now
Oof,
because
boy.
it was too
Oh, yes.
fucking creepy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
John Byrne, who enjoys writing stories about characters where a man is much older than a woman, he set it up that Reed and Sue had been together for a long time, and even when they were first created, she was kind of a ditzy 21-year-old, and he was like a man, like a 43-year-old. There was a 20-year age gap all the time. They wanted to set up, John Byrne decided to set up that they didn't fall in love when she was of age, but when he was a boarder at her house when he was in college. So it is a 12-year-old Sue looking lovingly at Reed, and him being kind of uncomfortable, implying that he's
And oblivious.
kind of, at best, oblivious. So Matt Fraction, in the nicest way he could when he retconned it, said, that just doesn't work now. Maybe it could seem innocent in 1980s, but it's just creepy now. So their ages are kind of closer together. I'd say now it's more like Reed is 7 years older than her, 7 to 10, not 20. But back in the 60s, it was, I'm a guy with white in my hair, so I'm a scientist from World War II, and I'm now settled down with a 20-year-old woman, as is normal, and no one judges this.
Moving on. 42.
Hell yeah! I love that. I love that hair. That's
The hair,
big 80s hair.
Big 80s hair. I love
Art Adams.
I love the borderline anime face. On the other
On
side.
the profile, that's totally anime.
Yeah, but again, this is, I guess she has become proper rogue now, right? Like she's stolen the powers.
She absolutely has Captain Marvel's powers at this point. So she is that strong, and she's fighting Sentinels. I love that action thing.
Yeah.
Art Adams in all of his, on pretty much all of his cards in here, he's very good at giving background details and making more to it.
And this is a costume again right before they become the X-Men that you all remember, with where she has her jacket in the yellow and green.
Before she turned everybody into latex enthusiasts.
Oh boy!
She awakened so many latex kinks in her character.
Yeah, but
it's, I mean, I love Rogue. Love Rogue. Sugar. She is a great Southern Belle. Created when she was created, she was close to Anna Paquin's powers of just like, oh, I suck, I hurt people.
Yeah, I kind of like can disorient people or whatever. But yeah, she touched Captain Marvel for too long and stole her powers and even some of her memories. Ms. Marvel.
And put her in a coma, which was also just Claremont saying, nobody can write Miss Marvel except for me, so I'm going to put her in a coma until I can write her again. And then I'll give all of her powers to the character I like in my new comic, Rogue. So there's Rogue there. This is also before it is established that she is the sister of Kurt Wagner.
Oh,
they are both the child of Mystique.
Oh, I don't think I knew that they were siblings.
Well, she's the she's the adopted daughter of Raven, but she is. They are related. They are related.
Man,
like that.
Real respectable power levels. I think maybe, according to just those pink lines, the most powerful X-Men we've seen.
Ms. Marvel is crazy powerful.
Yeah,
and so that was always a great thing with her. She's like, I am a near Superman level power on your team, and if you need me to, I can steal powers and memories from other people too.
Yeah.
I love seeing her fight Juggernaut. Like, they have some awesome fights.
Yeah.
But what's her
some Sentinel action?
Controversial past includes a criminal career under the wing of her shape-shifting foster mother, Mystique.
Oh, there you go.
Told you.
Foster mother. 43,
Hey,
She-Hulk.
Beautiful.
I love She-Hulk, but that is a very Eric Larson design for a woman. Like
Wow, she's got the same face as Rogue on the back. Like, that's like the
Yeah.
same look.
That is not an Eric Larson face. Like, he didn't do that face.
If you go back and look at like every Nintendo Power cover, stand-up comedy, and Street Fighter, it was required somebody pose in front of a brick wall
with your name
with your name's
or a tagline written on it.
But that is so how he draws, like the hips. That is some Eric Larson hips, and Eric Larson giant hair. That he mainly did that on Mary Jane, but that's just some big 90s hair.
Yep.
And
she's got the crazy strength and durability, like, you know, classic hulky stuff. 6'7", 650 pounds. That's great.
Yeah, I prefer when she's drawn as a brute of, like, well, not brute, but a very muscular woman, not just a tall supermodel.
Yeah.
Like, she needs to be like, she needs to
woman.
be the cut.
Brianna Tarth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But and so you definitely see a lot of musculature on her, but still not to the. She still has like what looks like a 20-inch waist or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, it's really, but that's
Her first appearance is in 1980.
Yeah.
Yep, because that was at the height of the popularity of the Incredible Hulk TV show, and Stan Lee, I've heard him say the story of, like, it was only a matter of time before somebody ripped us off and made the Girl Hulk show, so we're making up She-Hulk first before they can steal it from it.
I guess it was
Same with Spider-Woman.
She joined the Fantastic Four
86,
in the early...
right after Secret War, or in Secret War.
But so what makes her fun as a character is, like, I'm sure we talked about it last time, but it's like she, unlike Bruce Banner with a curse almost, she like totally loves being She-Hulk.
She was freed by She-Hulk.
Yeah, she's like kind of a bookworm lawyer that gets to become like super confident, just let it all hang out and
sleep with any dude she wants,
and just be super popular, super strong, and doesn't have to like have any of the penalties of being the Hulk necessarily.
Was it Slot's run with She-Hulk that she gets kicked out of the Avengers Tower for being too thirsty?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that she was drinking and partying and sexing it up way too much, and they're like, "You're not taking this seriously." That series was great because it was about her rediscovering her nerd side.
Yeah,
which she should have a level 3 intelligence. If she is one of the best lawyers in the Marvel universe, she should be a 3 intelligence.
Way better than Daredevil if you're going just on intelligence and lawyer.
But clearly they underestimate legal knowledge as smartness, which basically is magic. If you know the rules of law, then that's magic. Like,
yeah, oof. But yeah, a great run from Dan Slott, and then again, she's most recently been in like her 2 most recent comics have been fun too.
Does she have a solo?
Currently, she was almost killed in Civil War 2, and then she's got a new book which had a promising start. I've only read the first issue, though it kind of equates her. The fun is over. It equates her powers with PTSD, and it is actually a very serious book. But it's an interesting start. But the series before that by Charles Soule is really good because Charles Soule has a degree in law, so he brings real legal expertise to the lawyer scenes. It's a really
it's a fun book,
and it's just 12 issues. Goes by like that.
And she, at some point, I don't know about in comic, but gets meta level power. Like meta, she will look at the reader and be like, "Buy this comic, you idiot."
In John Byrne's comic, she is a fourth wall breaker.
Yes,
that had been dropped.
Hello.
Yeah. Moving on.
Hey, look at that.
Famous movie star Doctor Strange fighting tentacle Cthulhu monsters
by the hoary hosts of Hogarth. There he is,
Chairman Steve.
Yeah,
the gifted legendary Tibetan miracle worker known as the Ancient One.
Sure, yeah. I bet they didn't think of a woman who was like 10 at the time of this card coming out would be playing the Ancient One at some point. But
I expect them to be a little smarter, but I guess that's up there.
Yeah, 4
memorize all that shit.
Yeah, like, 4 is gifted like Spider-Man level.
Well, and his durability, that's just
every time you see him, he's reading.
Yeah.
Durability, it's something that's tough for me on these things because durability to me really means taking a punch. Like, this guy can take a punch. He can't take a punch, but he can just avoid. You'll never hit him. He has all these magic defenses. You'll never hit him.
Well, I think it's like enchantments as well. Like if a beam hits him, he's got enchantments on him that will protect him. So
he's got like 17 enchantments.
Yeah, it's like the links of his ability to protect himself put him at a 6, which in durability, it's up there on the screen. But to read it, 6 is. Yeah, withstand most poisons, concussions, temperature extreme, superhuman durability.
Well, but this durability was before we knew anything about CTE and how serious it was with concussions.
Yes.
But I mean, that's a cool pose. Like,
it's very nice art. I like it.
It's not flashy, but you get to see him doing his magic projection. Though one of his hands is doing the love thing.
Yeah,
it's like you got to at least get one doing his almost Spider-Man hand motion.
But it's good, and there's a lot of good. I love Doctor Strange's role in Infinity Gauntlet as kind of like behind the scenes, and there's a great tie-in comic that kind of shows what it is he's doing while they're all fighting them. It's really fun.
And then you got to buy the Marvel Omnibus to see all that.
That omnibus is totally worth it.
$70 totally worth it. Absolutely.
And I had most of those issues, but like all those tie-ins, I was like 11 when these cards were out, and when this all happened. So like I didn't have money to go buy all these comics.
$50 to buy every comic that tied in.
But yeah, Doctor Strange. We talked more about him last time, I'm sure.
Good old Doc.
But now there's a movie, so you all know who he is. 45, Silver Surfer. There we go, baby. Look at those. Look at those meters.
He is blasting
Kabam.
up meteors. He's like, well, if I'm in outer space, I must blast meteors.
Yeah. Like can do numerous things, but this is one of those things where all those would be balanced in I think the third serise with fighting abilities pretty low. Yeah. He's not a trained fighter. And yeah,
why would he need to be? He's indestructible.
Yeah, and he can like brute force, like fight and punch and shoot beams and stuff. But like people can outsmart him in fights all the time.
He gets tricked quite a lot.
Yeah,
or just having like, well, this blind woman told me Earth shouldn't be destroyed. I guess I will betray Galactus, my God. He was the original Marvel Jesus.
Yeah.
He said Adam Warlock was, but he's the original Marvel Jesus.
Yeah.
But this drawing, like. This should be Ron Lim drawing it. Ron Lim draws so many other things in here, including another card with Surfer in it. But he doesn't draw this one. This is Paul Ryan again, and it's just kind of.
I'm guessing they had a lot of cards to get through, and and I love this art. I think it's fun.
It's good. But so what I like about Ron Lim's Surfer is that he is the shiniest Surfer.
Yes, so much good chrome effects on the art with that.
So this is the most powerful Marvel character we have met.
Pretty much.
He's the first truly cosmic one we've seen. He's got the power cosmic, but I have a feeling Galactus is going to outdo this this level.
Yeah, but like as a hero, like him being, and again, they also want to get this up there because he's going to be so instrumental in Infinity Gauntlet and all these cosmic plans that they have.
I mean, by this point, Thanos had already returned in his comics written by Jim Starlin.
Yep.
So yeah.
But yeah, I love Silver Surfer, and part of that is like this card and the comics that were happening at this time. Storm.
Hey,
I don't like that haircut on her.
That's a weird, like, it's neither nor. It's not the cool mohawk, and it's not her. Again, she's still in the black, costume with the yellow zigzag. It's not her Jim Lee X-Men cartoon.
It's more the Halle Berry movie version.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, she's very close to switching to the white costume that's in blue and gold, but this is an understated Eric Larson woman. I'm used to the most bodacious of figures on him, and this is kind of. I guess if he had to draw that costume, there's only so much he can do to sexualize that. But I love Storm. She's
Storm's a great character.
And she was still the leader of the X-Men at this time.
And a horrifying did you know.
Yes, claustrophobia.
She didn't originally have that, but then when they added extra backstory to her, I liked her. It was an interesting backstory at first that she was a mutant in Africa and that they thought was a god. And then later, before she became a god to an African tribe, she was a pickpocket in Egypt for the Shadow King, and then a building fell on her and gave her claustrophobia. But that's the kind of flavor you need to make it.
But it sounds like the emotional setup for a single story. Why do I need to know Storm's claustrophobic?
It gave her something to overcome eventually. Now it's never going to mention.
But again, no energy projection or fighting ability because she's as good a fighter or better than Cyclops hand to hand, and is also I can shoot lightning bolts.
Summon a hurricane in the blink of an eye. So says the card.
She beat one of the Marauders with no powers. She became the leader of the Marauders thanks to her just fighting ability.
Yep. 47 Archangel.
There's
Bagley with the moon.
Bagley moon.
Take a drink.
Yes.
But yeah, speed 5, which is supersonic or whatever.
I believe he drew the
speed
Archangel in the first volume too, but his wings are much better. And these are some sharp ass wings, and again, the Wolverine-ifying of every character. He became a Wolverine too, mainly in that he's a rich guy with wings.
Feather wings,
could shoot. Who cares? Give him metal wings, erase his memory, and give him a berserker rage.
Yep, and give him no pupils. Give him weird eyes. It's just like a checkbox of make sure all these things happen. But totally worked. So as an 11-year-old, this character rules. And then when I found out that's what he used to look like, who cares?
Sucks.
Dumb feather wings. What am I supposed? A regular gun could take out those wings.
In the 90s, when you became a new X-Men fan, it was an interesting thing to realize. Oh, the X-Men sucked before 1983.
Yeah.
Wow, how weird.
It's super weird to realize, yeah.
Warren
And then-
Worthington.
Warren Worthington the
And
third
now
of
it's weird to
Mighty
realize like how popular all these characters were in the 90s such that they're all still recognizable today
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird.
based off of how omnipresent they were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because since then, like I don't know what Archangel did since 2000 onward. I'm
did
sure I
do
read
a-
comics with him in it.
I
but
did do a superhero spotlight on him. He basically went between getting back his memories and not getting back his wings and not having blue skin and not. Currently, he got killed and then replaced not by his time traveling version,
Yeah.
but then also reborn as an angel in his other body.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So you've got time traveling angel who currently dates X-23, the new Wolverine.
Yes.
But you also have reborn angel who's kind of Archangel now and works on the whatever. Let's move on.
But yeah, Age of Apocalypse, or not Age of Apocalypse, but just Apocalypse, the character, is, deeply tied to this.
Set up to be the dark side of the X-Men or the X Factor.
Yeah. And then 48 Thor.
Speaking of losers in the middle of a bad story, this is Eric Masterson Thor,
Yep.
which is when they decided to ground Thor again and put him with a burly man instead of just
being
a
Thor.
god. Yeah.
So yeah, Eric Masterson is the first mortal to be given the powers of an Asgardian god. So he's not really Thor. He's Eric Masterson with the powers of Thor.
Which led to interesting stories where he had to meet the Avengers and pretend, yes, verily, I am the Thor.
Yeah, like again, because this is happening during Infinity Gauntlet, you get moments where it's like Thor, like, basically with that profile image where he's like, oh man, when they realize I'm not Thor, this is gonna
It's like,
suck.
Hey Thor, we really need they killed Odin. That must really suck for you, right? Like,
Hence Hence the mask then.
Well, not really the mask. It just was part of the redesign to obscure his face more, make this a visually distinct Thor. That's also, he's really cool in the Infinity Gauntlet fight, but it's also why you would think a Thor at the peak of his abilities would have done better in that fight. He does really good in the fight against him. He's one of the few survivors.
He does get shattered, turned into glass and shattered. But
That's true. He doesn't survive, but
Doubles a brick in Marvel.
That's one of the best effing things in Infinity Gauntlet, where he throws the hammer at Thanos. He's like, that was stupid.
Yeah, teleports it away.
See you later. And then he's like, I've only got 60 seconds. Wait.
Yeah.
Just punch.
And just like goes to town, and like for a second, even Thanos, like who anyway. Read the Infinity Gauntlet.
Second most powerful character so far, except that the stamina and durability are almost up there too.
Thor is crazy.
So let's go Silver Surfer, Thor, from what we've done.
Yeah.
And then
seems
Adam
bizarre.
Warlock.
But it's one of those things where
Wonder
like,
Man.
Yeah, Wonder Man. Where fighting ability though, where Silver Surfer would be way low and then Thor would be way high, and it's like, well, yeah, if Thor and Silver Surfer go at it, I think Thor's gonna win.
Yeah, I would think so too. His speed, I feel like he gets a 7 in speed just because he can teleport with his hammer. I feel like
Sure.
I mean,
But I don't know why
when I think of
Nightcrawler
him-
doesn't get that.
When I think of him he can teleport to planets. He's
I
like,
guess,
well, I'm
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
go to this planet. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on into almost to the end of the Heroes 49.
Oh my God.
Boo!
Everyone's favorite.
God, I've never liked
The
Quavo.
fastest character in the Marvel universe.
Well, he's the same as
officially.
Silver Surfer.
It's another cosmic level dude. He's one of dozens of guys like, well, Captain Marvel died. We got to give Captain Marvel stuff to somebody. He's another of the like losers who got him.
Yeah,
really.
he has these quantum bands that give him like with no energy projection, you don't get a sense of anything he can do. But yeah, he's kind of like a Green Lantern-y space cop sort of. I mean,
but he's learning things, and he gets so owned by Thanos.
Yeah.
But that because he also thought his journey was thinking the quantum bands made him a hero, when really he needed to become a hero.
Comes from
himself.
Had to
inside,
drink from a
dog.
Space Jam water bottle.
But Eon, or is it Eon? I thought it was Epic for some reason. I guess it is Eon. The face in the background that you can kind of see is his little dude who, like this cosmic being that flows around with him, and Quasar is his champion, and so on.
That
And
he's giving him guilt trips. He's like, no, this is what you do.
yeah,
And
use the quantum bands for good, Quasar.
the only time I cared about Quasar was when they made him matter as a death in Annihilation. When he gets killed by Annihilus, and then it's Nova's driving force. Like, him and Nova team up to fight Annihilus, and then to show just how badass Annihilus is, he's like, I'm just gonna kill you and steal your quantum band.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was
I
a
did
really
like
cool
that.
fight. Annihilation, the first one, and Conquest is pretty good too, but the first Annihilation, so awesome.
It's fun. Moving to number 50. Wolverine,
I
baby.
love this Wolverine drawing.
Still,
One of my favorites.
still brown costume.
Ron Perlman draw.
Well, that's it's Art Adams. I thought for a second it's an Eric Larson, but it's an Art Adams. But
very stocky.
I like how stocky he is. They never draw his arms as hairy these days.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine is
It's
a
bummer, 'cause
hairy
I can
dude.
totally relate as it takes over my body.
I mean, his arms are bigger than all of our heads, but
Yeah.
that Wolverine. I mean, in a post-Hugh Jackman world, Wolverine has to be tall, or they draw him tall, even when he's supposed to be a squat.
Yeah, dude, look at that.
Canuck.
He's supposed to be 5'3", 200 pounds.
But
Like he's supposed to be just.
Does he not convey the weight of his adamantium? 195
Yeah,
is a little
that's
heavy
without-
for a 5'3" dude.
That's definitely without the bones. I don't know if they had like
That's
really
true.
factored that in yet, because it is
think
supposed
they
to be
thought
like
of that.
he. I think it's supposed to be like 300 pounds or something.
They definitely knew all his bones were adamantium at this point. That had been
Yes,
established.
but you're still like Logan. You don't know James Howlett. You don't know anything about any of that stuff. It's just he's a mysterious guy who goes into berserker rages. And again, that 80s and early 90s Wolverine stuff is so much fun, especially the Madripoor Nights and all that era. Like that stuff is so much fun.
Why that Wolverine that Wolverine is invulnerable to all drugs, and that was also why he could smoke cigars and drink beer. And now he doesn't get to do fun stuff
One of
anymore.
my favorite
'cause
images
it's for
from the
kids.
early 90s is Wolverine in a hot tub of acid, and it's just a skeleton from the pecs down smoking a cigar. It's ridiculous.
What a strong jaw. I also like that in that pose, his boots are kind of his head thing, too.
Yeah, wow.
Like, it's just so pointy.
And his durability, his regenerative powers here, it's not where it is now, where like when Deadpool came around, his thing was like, oh, I heal instantly. And that's what distinguished him from Wolverine, whereas Wolverine was like, I can take a crap load of punishment and I'll regenerate at like 2 to 3 times, 4 times faster, and I will definitely recover. Like things that should kill a normal person, I won't die because my body's already like repairing itself. But then around Ultimate Universe / the movie in 2000 is when it becomes like, yeah, you just like a gunshot, you immediately start healing. Whereas back then it was like, if you got in a huge fight, stabbed, shot, cut, it's like he would be bandaged up for several issues.
You can't
and
just
you would
wait
make
around for him to heal. is the
Yeah.
thing, you know?
But like when the comics moved a little slower and could breathe, you could have a hero who could just get the crap kicked out of him with knives sticking out of him. And that's the thing, like when Sabretooth would come fight him a lot, it's like he'd be mortally wounded for weeks or whatever. And it's like, because he should be dead.
When Sabretooth would do his yearly
ass kicking.
I'm gonna beat you to death. Near to
But
death.
this is the last time you really see him in his brown costume.
I love
After
that
this,
brown costume.
weird,
Well,
man.
Sam Keith kept drawing him in his brown
Oh, did
costume
he?
in his solo.
It'll
books.
never not be default to me. The video game, the
yeah.
action
Yeah.
figures, everything to me was this. With Wolverine was this color.
Yellow and blue is nice, but I actually prefer.
I love this.
I'm surprised they never really brought this back.
Me neither.
Like
Me
so
too.
many costumes come
Really?
back in a rotation. This never really did for any length of time, at least.
Well, Wolverine is more maskless these days. All right, we're in Ron Lim territory again. We got.
They really
Scott
backloaded these.
Summers.
Wow.
Yeah, Cyclops, and again, the end of X Factor. This is right before the X-Men as most people know them. This is not the crazy, yellow belt going across. It's that blue X, that white
Still in
X.
his X Factor themed costume there. Can't even show his energy ability there
Yeah,
either.
again, no energy projection or fighting ability. He just looks like, oh, he's pretty tough, I guess, and can fight a while.
I would have had his, instead of Havoc, I'd have had his do you know that he married the Goblin Queen, who was a demon like that. But I guess they don't want to. That's a little too complicated in a card set. The
lot.
Goblin Queen isn't in.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Everybody's least favorite original X-Men.
So I liked him a lot in the 2000s era when he became
Nobody acknowledged him as a wiener like they do now, or what would you call it? Not an anti-hero.
No, he
Yeah.
was too straight-laced. He was the
Yeah.
Boy Scout
Yeah.
team.
Well, and the cartoon certainly didn't help that because, like, you have Wolverine, the coolest character in the show, and in comics in general, going like, "You're a loser wiener."
I thought we all loved
Girlfriend
Cyclops.
would be with me if she was cool.
We all love Cyclops, as far as I can remember. Me and my two friends who read comics, but
yeah,
Love
just that
friendship sides.
touch in the side. It's so much fun. But yeah, Cyclops again doesn't generate heat. It's a concussive blast. It pushes things.
He didn't have very cool sunglasses back then. He needed better.
it's
red
real weak in
sunglasses.
stat form.
He
All
does.
right, moving on.
Well,
Nick
so does
Fury.
This guy.
Is he a little stronger?
I don't even know this artist on this one. I
Yeah, I
can't
can
really
see a
place
sig.
it. It's
I
really
can't.
hard to tell. But back when he was allowed to smoke on a card, so he's lighting up his old
But he
stogie
had
there.
to smoke on a card.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
I love that his comic is so long they had to change the font. Kerning. Sergeant Fury sound like him out as #1 Mason History. But yeah, I mean, his Nick Fury is well before Sam Jackson version erased this version from reality.
Even before the David Hasselhoff version.
Yep.
Maybe a year.
Yeah, this is White Nick Fury as he's known now.
I guess the big thing is
Mr. Fantastic with an eye patch.
Kind of, yeah. And I mean, he's head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and has the Infinity Serum or whatever.
The Infinity formula has made him not age or age slowly, but that's run out now, baby. He's an old. Well, actually, he's the Watcher now, I guess.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's the Watcher, and Winter Soldier's the man. I can't remember. Never mind.
That doesn't even count anymore. That's been undone by like 3 more crossovers since Secret whatever.
Secret something.
Original Sin. That was it.
Oh, wow. But yeah, I mean, James Bondy espionage stuff mixed with
World War II, John Wayne
pretty
situations.
pedestrian.
Yeah, I guess he started World War II, and then when he came back in the 60s, those really famous covers that are very spy thriller stuff.
Well, he was just created to be a ripoff of Sergeant Rock, and then they decided, these Sergeant Rock comics should instead be James Bond espionage comics. They should be the Avengers, the British Avengers.
Yes. 53.
Finally.
We're getting to the end. Big finish here with the
derpy
Hulk.
haircut.
Big old Hulk. This is Smart Hulk here, as you can tell by his intelligence.
Yes, this is the Hulk again, Infinity Gauntlet, where this is the era of Hulk where he's able to combine his personalities so that he is just as strong, just as smart. No real downside. It's not like he.
So what happened was he went to therapy finally, and he did.
Took him 30 years. But
he discovered that all his different personalities, Banner, Hulk, Mr. Fix-It, they all kind of stemmed from emotional and disturbing and abuse he took as a child.
Sure.
By sorting through that, he then became his ultimate self, as in, I have all the strength of Hulk, but I have all the brains of Banner. And he just was, and he was always the Hulk. And so you get these funny drawings of Hulk walking around in just like regular clothes, which would always be torn off him by the end of the comic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's how Hulk was then. And yes, if anybody gets a 7 strength, it is the Hulk. He is. I wouldn't give him a durability. I would give him an endless stamina, but
yeah, it is weird because stamina 6 says sustained for many days, whereas 7 is never tires. And like my understanding is Hulk would never tire.
That's how they treat him now.
I guess I've seen him get tired in a comic once. Be like, ugh. Hulk, go to sleep.
Especially when you're fighting Doc Ock with adamantium arms.
Was there only a Gray Hulk card in the last set?
Yeah, it was only Mr. Fix-It. Well, there was a flashback card where he was green, but this is the Return of Green Hulk because he is Mr. Fix-It right before he finally deals with his shit and becomes Smart Hulk, which would not last forever, but for a few years he was Smart Hulk.
Yep. Yeah. And then moving into 54,
there we
the
go.
final hero of the set. Who knows how long this video is? Good lord! But Captain America ends the run at. He was the #1 card in the first set, and now he's ending out the heroes at 54. But I mean, it's Cap, right? It's Cap, baby.
It's the Cap, and I like that his Did You Know was one of my favorite things about him, that he could wield the Hammer of Thor.
He can lift Mjolnir, baby.
He is that pure, that worthy, to that unto a god.
So he's done that at this point.
Yeah,
okay.
It had happened at this point in Avengers.
So,
but this is him outside of the Avengers. He's clearly on a mission of like, I just discovered an aim base. You can't shoot me.
Yeah. So his agility is at a 5.
Yeah.
Which is enhanced human beyond human limits. I didn't think that was the case with Cap.
Yeah, I thought he was just. I put him at a 4. I think he is very good and very acrobatic, but yeah, it is weird that his agility is that great.
Maybe his stamina be higher.
I've seen him jump really far. I mean, I see he's a better jumper than Daredevil, I'd say.
Yeah,
I would reverse. I would invert his stamina and agility.
Yeah, I would too. Because my understanding was like he kind of doesn't get tired.
And his durability. I mean, well, now I just think of all the feats of durability they've had him. Of just like he stayed underwater for this long, or he got shot and then got back up.
He could do this all day.
What a good joke to go out on there.
Yeah, but that wraps up our look at the heroes of the 1991 Impel Marvel set. We'll be back with another video, well, many more, because we still have villains, we have arch enemies, a look at the weapons, the famous weapons of the Marvel Universe, so there's a lot more to go.
Punisher truck.
We'll be back soon.